everybody, it's Denise from Something Beautiful Handcrafts, and this is a studio vlog. And I had it all set up so that I was going to actually appear in this video, have my hair done. I haven't bothered to do my nails, and I really don't have the energy for that yet. So I'm gonna move along. It's been a while since I did a vlog, and the last one, I don't know, just kind of fell apart in production. It was really long. And once I had cut it up, it was too long, and cutting it up didn't really make it flow very well. So I'm really sorry about that. Still kind of working on this, but my lighting is better. Okay, so just going to talk really briefly about what's been going on the past several weeks around the world. And I know there's a lot of crafters who have been affected by what's happening, and not so much in a good way. And I think that's another reason why I've been kind of absent, because I've been trying to feel my way through this. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the last two vlogs, but I was really excited that I was going to make some stitch markers for the Ply Away goodie bags. It was going to be a great opportunity. I was hoping it was going to get a little more exposure, because I know a lot of times when I talk about selling things, my biggest problem is getting information out there. I'm not real good with marketing. I'm kind of a introvert kind of person. Not that you know it from videos, but of course I'm not talking in front of people. I'm talking to a camera, and that helps. So I was really looking forward to opportunity, and when everything started getting canceled, it was very disappointing. It canceled my classes that I had scheduled at a local craft store, and pretty much any of the activities I had planned to go to. The Great Lakes Fiber Festival here in Ohio, that was canceled, and some other things I had scheduled. So I was very disappointed about that, and I've been trying to figure out where am I going from there. I also had like a real job scheduled, and kind of canceled that too. So the question is, where do I go from here? And I haven't really figured it out, and it made me really disappointed. And it was a little hard to decide what I plan to do next, or like, what does this all really mean? Why am I doing this? Is this a sign kind of stuff? So I had some issues I really had to deal with, but of course that didn't stop me from having like a gazillion ideas. So in the meantime, I've been working on a, you know what? I don't know, I really don't want to call it a shawl. I want to call it a poncho, but it's a ruana, or I think is how you pronounce the word. And I actually have a whole separate video on weaving with handspun. Let me grab that, because I said I wasn't going to talk about that. But now I'm talking about it because I have a whole video about it. So never mind, I'm just going to go ahead and talk briefly about it. If you remember from the Tour de Fleece last year, I had a Jacob Finn cross that I spun the fleece. This is not quite the entire fleece, but it is a big majority of what I bought. Maybe 5 pounds of it, I think. I think this is the one I did 5 pounds. It might have been 10 pounds. But I finally got it up on the loom and wove it up, and this is a 1/3 twill, and it turned out really nicely. So I'll put a link to the video below, or hopefully, and you'll be able to actually see the process. And I took a lot of time with that video. It was very well lit, I have to say. So that's probably one of the better videos, but it is really long because this is pretty much from warping all the way to me finishing. So I'm going to cut that video in half and try not to completely mess up the editing and make it unwatchable, but make it short enough that you're not sitting there for an hour and a half kind of staring at it. You can kind of do it in segments and go get ice cream in between. Okay, so while I was finishing this, I had this thing about granny squares. You know what? I've never done a granny square before, and that's kind of odd, but I have it, and I decided that I wanted to do granny squares and just kind of make something. So I had some random acrylic lying around for all sorts of random reasons, and it was some gray acrylic, and I thought they were the same shades of gray. That had been the intention when I started, but it turns out they weren't, which is fine. And then some pink and some white. And this is the butterfly square. Let's see if you can get a really good one in the picture. And there's its own Revelry, or this one particular one was. It was one from a set of granny square knit-alongs. And I just made enough of them that it's 5 by 5. So this is a foot square, 12-inch square block. And I did 27 of them. I think the other two, I might do 2 more and turn them into pillows. And then blanket stitch them all together on this side. And I thought maybe I would spin in order to make one of these with wool. But that was like 2,500 yards. It's 100 yards roughly for each of the squares crocheted. And I was like, nope, maybe not, never mind. 2,500 yards is a lot for a blanket. For me, anyway. Not a lot of yarn, it's a lot for a blanket. Okay, so, of course, in the middle of that, I'm working on these cups. So, I said in January, after working that craft fair, that, I mean, doing the craft fair thing is really hard. The yarn festivals, especially for someone like me who doesn't really like to put themselves out there. And it's just a lot of hard work, and you don't really know what your return is going to be. And it got me thinking about whether I really want to try to sell stuff. I mean, as a regular basis. I make stuff, occasionally it sells, that's great. But to actually try to make a living from selling, or a living from YouTubing, or a living from any of this stuff, I don't know. A lot of times it pushes me out of my creative zone and makes me feel like, you know, it just makes me feel like I'm slaving in a sweatshop. And that's not what I want to do with my craft. I want to actually enjoy this. If I wanted that feeling, I could have kept teaching. So, but I don't. So at any rate, I decided that I would just go ahead and do some more of these cups, because I found that the cups, they're enjoyable. I love the polymer clay. Of course, I love flowers. And they are less labor intensive than scouring raw wool, spinning raw wool, knitting, weaving, crocheting the items. And it kind of gives me like a secondary break from the knitting and the crocheting and the spinning. Not that I do all kind of other stuff between, like the gardening and all that stuff and the card making. But those are a little smaller as opposed to what this has turned out. So anyway, I've been doing these cups, and I'm really happy about the cups. Let me show you the 2 other ones. And not that I'm going to say that the polymer clay cup thing is going to take over the knitting and spinning and all that kind of stuff. I think we all know better than that. It's just that this is kind of a secondary outlet, and it gives me something that I make and I don't feel pressed about, like I do the knitting and spinning and stuff like that. And it's not quite so labor intensive, and yeah, I think you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I love these things. Of course, my obsession with irises never ceases. So primarily, this is what's going in my Etsy shop. Also, I've also decided that I want to specialize in whatever it is I'm placing in my Etsy shop. So before I was dyeing, roving, I was making skeins of yarn, I had some knit things, I had some other things in the shop, and it's so much easier to specialize. So I can say, well, these are the things I'm going to attempt to sell, and these are the things I'm going to keep for myself, or if it happens to come along that someone wants it, that I'll sell it. So I'm really going to focus a lot on scarves. All that to say that. Okay, this is the Fin scarf from the yarn. I want to say this is from the yarn from Spin Together. I might not have been. I have to look that up. But this is definitely from my Spin to Weave Along. Yeah, I want to say the Spin Together and Spin to Weave Along went side by side. And this is the yarn from this. And this is also the dyed colors from the Fall Fiber Challenge in our Fiber Challenge Study group on Facebook. So I'm giving myself some focus here. I'm not all over the place trying to do everything and appeal to everyone and sell everything and make things that may or may not sell and all that kind of stuff. So I'm focusing on scarves. So I ordered some yarn from Lady on eBay that I've ordered from before. I've got some, oh, what is it? I want to say it's bamboo or tinsel. It could be rayon. I don't know. I looked at them all in the cart. I'm trying to remember which one I chose. That one is on the way, and those ones are going to be for my summer scarf shawls, very much like the one I just showed you. And then, of course, I'm doing the hand spun wool or alpaca for the winter weight ones. And that's pretty much where I'm going to go as far as what's going to go into the Etsy shop. I think that'll turn out nice. Alrighty, I'm trying to keep this short. 2 more things on my list. Yes, I have a list. Let's see. I'm not even sure if this is going to show up very well in the picture. But this is for Mother's Day. Oh, actually, it doesn't turn out too bad. Okay, I have a Cricut, like doesn't everybody? And I don't do much with my Cricut. When I got the Cricut, I got it for cutting, just all kind of shapes for card making. And that was supposed to be the purpose of it. And then I cut some vinyl for a while. I cut some stencils to do t-shirts with the screen printing, which was really nice. I made about 45, 50 of those for church. And so it worked out really nicely. I like the t-shirts. And I haven't done any of the heat transfer vinyl yet, surprisingly enough. And mostly I cut decals, but the Cricut doesn't get used very often. I used it just enough to pretty much pay for its purchase. And right now it's been sitting for since last September of 2019 as a very expensive paperweight, which is fine. Like I said, it's already paid for itself with what I've done with it, and I've been pretty pleased with it. Cricut's also how I made the coasters here. That's permanent vinyl, and this one's not coated, but it has worn very well with my plenteous cups of coffee spilled on it and melted ice cream. Looks great. Okay, so anyway, I went and got a new blade because I really wanted to try out these shadow boxes for Mother's Day. And now I'm kind of wishing I had used a darker color on here, but when it's tilted in the light and you see it really nicely, it says Mom, and then it has my name and my 3 siblings on here. And then pretty much I did this stacking photo frames, and I made a new back for it. I had to completely make a different back to cover it. And I used this stuff. All of this wallpaper and wallpaper samples I have. So the flowers in the back are wallpaper samples. And then I took apart some fabric flowers here and put them into the case. And I'm pretty happy about that. So I don't even know if I'm going to upload this video in time for Mother's Day. But if I do, or you just want to do a present, look up how to do the shadow boxes from the photo frames. And if you have a Cricut vinyl cutter, you can go ahead and cut that and put the names of your siblings on there. If it's just you, there's like lots and lots of different ways to slice the letters and put that in there, however you like to do it. It's just a really cool thing to do, especially with the whole shadow box. You can put whatever you want behind there, and it makes an excellent gift. So I got that down. Okay, 2 things I really want to talk about. Oh, maybe 3. Okay, first of all, try to do this in chronological order. On the Angora Bunny Spinners group, we are having another sit, spin, knit, or crochet. It's been like ages since I've done anything on the Angora, and I don't know what happened to this poor thing. Since I've done anything on the Angora, because basically I am so Angora out. I have been doing Angora for years. I have made myself loads of Angora stuff, which you can wear like 2 seasons out of the year, maybe 3. This is Ohio, so it's 35 degrees this morning in May. But anyway, you know, you can only make so many things for yourself, and you can only make so many things for so many other people. And if I'm not selling the stuff, I've got like a pile of stuff from all these years. So my Angora is basically downstairs in the basement in storage, and I haven't really done much Angora stuff. And oh, it's just too precious to sell. Sorry. I used to sell my Angora fiber when I had the bunnies, but since I'm bunnyless at the moment, I'm not selling any of that stuff because it's like stockpiling gold. So I figured this is a good time to do something on the Angora Bunnies group. Now, I try to do the sit, spin, knit every year, and I have done it. And so I'm going to get to that. That's going to happen at the end of May, and I will have a video set up for that. So if you got some time on your hands, which you just might, join us on the Angora Bunny Spinners group on Facebook, or with the hashtag Angora Bunny Spinners on Instagram, or at some point when I set the videos up here, come watch the video, sit and spin with us and make something. That should be fun. Number 2, I am on the historical, you know what I want to call it, it was a Sew fortnightly, but they changed it to the historical Sew monthly on Facebook. And it's a monthly challenge to make some type of historical garment. And for the month of May, I decided I'm doing an apron. So let me pull that out for you. Here is my apron. I'm doing a Regency apron. And I got the pattern off of Craftsy. And there's some picture instructions and no video. So I'm going to vlog through my Regency apron. I got all my pieces already cut out. This is not a part of that. Shoot. There we go. I got all my pieces cut out. And hopefully I'll get that started. So that should keep me busy for a while. And you can actually find this on Pinterest too. It's also on, wait, I said, it's not Craftsy anymore. What is it, Blueprint? Okay, you can find the instructions on Blueprint. You can type it into Pinterest, instructions for Regency apron. And the picture will come up, and it looks like that apron that was worn in Sense and Sensibility. Okay. Check that out. That's going to be fun. And this is a really quick, you know, thing to sew up. Which reminds me, I'm sure like everybody else on the planet, I've been sewing aprons or sewing masks, just a few for friends. So I've got a stack of those guys over there that need to get done. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about my Spin the Weave Along, which I was going to do May, but I decided not to, as I got these other 2 projects. I'm going to do that, I want to say September, October, whenever it was that we had the spin together. Because I'm not going to do it Tour de Fleece is just too long. During Spin Together, I want to turn that into my Spin the Weave Along. And I want to make the, what are they called? The hobo bags. I did a video on the hobo bag, maybe 2-3 years ago. I don't know, after a while, you know, they start blending together. But I want to bring that back and I want to make another bag as a spin to weave along. So I'm going to set that up and maybe try to get some sign-ups or emails so I can notify everybody. We can kind of stay in step together. But that'd be really cool, especially if you've never sewn with your, well, if you've never woven with your handspun, or if you've never sewn anything from your handspun, or if you've never made a bag or purse before. This is a really good, fairly easy project. The weaving is really straightforward. It's just weaving a strip like you're doing a scarf. What gets a little strange is when you're putting the pieces together, because the picture that I got it from was like in Chinese, and I couldn't translate it properly, and it kind of skipped steps. So I had to work out the bag, and so far I haven't seen a tutorial besides that on this bag. So I'm really, such a cute bag, I'm really eager to explain it out as I do it so that other people can make this bag, because it's really, really cute. And that way there can be some detailed instructions that if anybody feels like they can definitely translate into some other language, would be so cool. So I'm going to have that all together so that we can get that going. And I think I've covered everything except for the garden. And really, to appreciate the garden, it'd be nice if it was warmer than 36 degrees. That'll have to be another studio vlog. And my blog page, the whole point was to have the blog page have a more detailed explanation, or at least a transcript of every video that I did. But once I started making the videos, I got kind of lazy with the blog pages. So I'm going to try to go back and update all of the videos with corresponding blog pages. I don't know if I want to ask you to hold me to that. We'll kind of see how that goes. Okay, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all my subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, please, click that little button. That'd be really cool. Give me a thumbs up, because YouTube really pays attention to those thumbs up. And more than anything, I kind of would like some comments, because I'm really trying to make these videos not just informative, but interesting, and if at all possible, good. That would be great. And so I'm always looking for suggestions. Just don't try to like stick a knife in my back, but you could tell me that, oh, you're talking too fast, or we like your fingernails, or I need more light or less light, or different things that could kind of help me out, or you want to see a comparison of my wheels or something like that, or you want me to cut light on the Cricut, or whatever it is that would help me kind of figure out what my audience needs, or any information that I may have left out in any of the explanations that I'm giving. Okay, thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day.